Noon, gentlemen. Please leave my house.
So I need to talk about Lord Shen, because I think we've all been seriously underestimating how evil this character actually is. Like, most people rank the Kung Fu Panda villains, and they put Tai Lung at the top because he's the most iconic. Or they put Kai up there because he literally stole the chi of every master in the spirit realm. And yeah, those guys are dangerous, but Shen is different. Shen is on a completely different level of evil. And there's a detail in Kung Fu Panda 2 that I don't think most people fully processed. Because if you actually stop and think about what Shen did, not just the surface level stuff, but what he actually did, this peacock makes every other animated villain look tame. And I'm not exaggerating. I genuinely think Lord Shen might be the most evil character in any animated movie ever made. And I can back that up. So let's talk about what makes Shen so different from every other villain in this franchise. Because Tai Lung had a reason, right? He was abandoned, raised with false promises, rejected by Oogway, betrayed by Shifu's silence. You can understand why he snapped. You feel bad for him. He's a tragic villain. Kai had a reason too. He felt betrayed by Oogway. He wanted power that he felt was stolen from him. Again, you can at least understand the motivation even if you don't agree with it. But Shen had nothing to be angry about. And that's what makes him terrifying. Think about where Shen came from. This dude was born into royalty. His parents were the rulers of Gongmen City. He grew up in a palace. He had everything: wealth, power, status, a family that loved him. And his parents weren't even bad people. They invented fireworks. Fireworks! Their life's work was literally about creating joy, about making people look up at the sky and smile. And what did their son see when he looked at those fireworks? Weapons. His own parents created something beautiful, and Shen looked at it and thought, I can use this to destroy things. That's not a tragic backstory. That's not someone who was pushed to darkness. That's someone who chose darkness while standing in the light. And here's where it gets really messed up. His parents saw this happening. They watched their son become obsessed with weaponizing their invention. And they were scared. So they did what any worried parent would do. They went to the soothsayer and asked what the future held for their son. And the soothsayer told them, if Shen continues on this path, a warrior of black and white will defeat him. This is the moment that separates Shen from every other villain. Because what a normal person hears is, maybe I should change my path. Maybe I should stop what I'm doing. The soothsayer literally gave him a warning, a chance to change. And what did Shen do with that warning? He took his wolf army to the panda village at night, and he attacked. Not warriors, not soldiers, not enemies, families, mothers, children, babies. And I need you to really sit with what I just said, because the movie kind of glosses over this. What Shen did was not a battle. It was not a fight. It was a massacre of civilians who had done absolutely nothing to him. The pandas weren't a threat. They weren't an army. They were just living their lives. And Shen killed them because a fortune teller said one of them might defeat him someday. That's not villainy. That's something way darker than that. And this is where I want to talk about the detail that most people don't fully process about this scene, because the movie shows us what happened that night through Poe's flashback. And if you just watch it casually, it's sad and you move on. But go back and really look at what DreamWorks animated in that sequence. They animated panda families running, mothers holding their babies, the village on fire, wolves chasing civilians through the streets. And I caught something on my last rewatch that I genuinely wish I hadn't noticed. Look at the ground in the flashback scene. Look at the shadows. DreamWorks animated the shadows of pandas falling. You barely see it. It's in the background. Blink and you miss it. This is a kids' movie, and DreamWorks hid the evidence of a genocide in the background shadows. And in the middle of all this chaos, one mother is running with her baby, Pa's mother, and she does something that I think is the smartest thing any character does in the entire franchise. She hides baby Po in a crate of radishes. She uses his black and white fur to blend in with the vegetables. And then she runs in the opposite direction, toward the wolves, drawing them away from her son. She sacrificed herself because of what Shen did that night. And that right there is why Shen is worse than Tai Lung. Tai Lung's actions were destructive, but they were aimed at warriors, at the valley, at people who could fight back. Shen targeted families who couldn't defend themselves, mothers and babies. And he did it not because they wronged him, but because he was scared of a prophecy. Tai Lung destroyed because he was broken. Shen destroyed because he was a coward. And there's a massive difference. But it doesn't stop there, because after the massacre, Shen's own parents were so horrified by what their son did that they banished him. And I used to feel like that was harsh when I first watched the movie. Like, come on, he's your son. But now that I'm older and I really understand what he did, honestly, they should have done more than banish him. He literally wiped out an entire species because he was scared. And instead of reflecting on that during his exile, instead of feeling any remorse at all, you know what Shen spent his exile doing? Building a bigger weapon. He took the fireworks technology and spent years perfecting a cannon that could destroy anything. His plan wasn't just to take back Gongmen City. His plan was to conquer all of China. And not through kung fu or skill or strategy, through firepower, through a weapon so destructive that it would make kung fu itself irrelevant. Think about that. Tai Lung wanted to be the dragon warrior. Kai wanted Qi. Those are personal goals. Selfish, but personal. Shen wanted to end an entire way of life. He wanted to make Kung Fu extinct. He's not just a villain in Po's story. He's a villain to the entire world of Kung Fu Panda. And when he comes back to Gongmen City, the first thing he does is kill Master Thundering Rhino. One of the most respected Kung Fu masters in China just kills him with his cannon to prove a point, to show everyone that Kung Fu is dead and his weapons are the future. And here's the thing about Shen that I think is the most disturbing. He doesn't enjoy violence because he's angry. He enjoys it because it makes him feel powerful. Watch his face when the cannon fires. He's not raging like Tai Lung. He's not conflicted. He's smiling. He genuinely takes pleasure in destruction, and that's way scarier than anger. But I saved the worst detail for last, because there's a moment near the end of Kung Fu Panda 2 that I think is the most evil thing any character does in the entire franchise, and most people don't even register it. During the final battle, Po and the Furious Five are fighting Shen's army. The wolves and the Kung Fu warriors are locked in combat. Bodies everywhere, total chaos. And Shen orders his wolves to move aside so he can fire the cannon. But here's the thing, his wolves are still in the firing line, his own soldiers. The army that has followed him, fought for him, been loyal to him. They're right there in front of the cannon, mixed in with the heroes. And his wolf commander, the one who has been by his side throughout the entire movie, looks at Shen and says no. He refuses to fire because it would kill his own wolves. And what does Shen do? He kills him. His most loyal soldier, the one wolf who had been with him from the beginning. Shen stabs him and fires the cannon himself at his own army. Let that sink in. He killed his own soldiers to get to his enemies. His own loyal followers were nothing but obstacles. Tai Lung never did anything like this. Tai Lung was violent and destructive, but he never turned on the people who were on his side. Kai collected Qi, but he was fighting masters who could defend themselves. Shen murdered civilians who couldn't fight back, killed the one soldier who showed him loyalty, and fired a weapon at his own army. Because none of them mattered to him. Nobody mattered to him. Not his parents, not his soldiers, not the pandas, not anyone. And you know what the craziest part is? At the very end, when his cannon breaks free and starts falling toward him, the soothsayer's prophecy finally coming true, Po actually reaches out his hand. Po, whose mother was killed because of this peacock, offers to save him, and Shen closes his eyes and lets the cannon fall on him. He chose death over accepting help from the person he wronged the most, because even in his final moment, his pride was more important than his life. He would rather die than admit he was wrong. Tai Lung was a villain created by someone else's mistakes. You can feel sorry for him. You can wish things were different. But Shen had every advantage, every privilege, every opportunity to be good, and he chose evil every single time. Not because someone failed him, because that's who he was. And that is why Lord Shen is not just the most dangerous villain in Kung Fu Panda. He's the most evil character in any animated movie I have ever watched. But I want to hear your take. Do you think Shen was worse than Tai Lung? Worse than Kai? And honestly, can you think of any animated villain from any movie that was more evil than what Shen actually did? Because I genuinely can't. Let me know in the comments. I read all of them. And if you want more from the Valley of Peace, hit that bell, because we got a lot more to uncover. See you in the next one.